You may wish it was Sunday, but it is just another Magic Monday. Your cosmic insights for the week ahead so you can know how to surf the cosmic waves of energy in order to live your most magical, aligned life. I am here every single Monday morning starting my week along with you all. So grab your coffee, your tea, your water, your Celsius, your Red Bull. Comment below what you usually drink to start your morning. And let's talk about this week, but furthermore, how you're going to maximize these energies in order to mitigate the downsides and maximize the upsides. So this week is interesting because with the sun ingressing into Taurus on Tuesday, happy birthday to all my Tauruses. Steady, grounded, dependable, love you all. And yet, this Taurus season is not going to be giving us that steady, sensual, reliable, grounded energy that we could expect from Taurus season typically. What the heck? Because it's eclipse season. It's eclipse season, which tends to be cosmic course correction season. It tends to be chaotic cosmic season. It tends to be very up and down, particularly if the eclipses are impacting your chart. And to a larger extent, they're impacting everyone's chart. It's playing out a story that will be playing out for the next year and a half. Make sure to check out my eclipse video to figure out what energy is taking place within your life and with your chart in these eclipses. But it's really not giving the calm, steady energy that we could expect from Taurus season. So I'm so sorry to disappoint. And we also have these magical inspired energies followed by this sort of negative energy. And that's why in this week's vibe check, which PS, if you're new here, essentially is just a thematic overview of what the cosmos feel like so you can kind of understand what energies are at play. This week feels like an internet troll. And you might be like, Haley, I'm just waking up. I do not want to hear that this week is like an internet troll. But here's the thing about this week. There is some negative, there is some hater energy, low-key, in the cosmos. There can be like a gem of wisdom within the hate, perhaps. Like, let me know if you've ever gotten some internet trolls, and there are some people that are just mean, like they just literally want to tear you down. There are some people that are jealous because you had a truly inspired idea, truly genius idea, and they want to pull you down. But sometimes, even though it's an ouch, it's like, okay, they might have a good point. Like for me, a comment I consistently get on TikTok is my pronunciation, which I am very self-conscious about, honestly, because when I was younger, I just read a lot. So I don't really know how a lot of the words that I would read are pronounced necessarily. Like I know a lot of words, but I commonly goof up the pronunciation. And so when I read a comment like that, I'm like, ouch. Like someone told me, it is so triggering the way that you say theirs. I'm going to unfollow you because of how you say theirs. And I've had at least 5 people unfollow me because of the way I say specifically. So every time I go to say those words, I'm like, oh, please say this correctly. So it's like, it probably wasn't coming from an outright hater energy. They probably were like, girl, if you're gonna be in front of a camera and you're gonna be speaking, you should probably say these words correctly. And that's a gem of wisdom that I can take with us. And like I said earlier, there's this energy around this inspired idea, and then haters inevitably being drawn towards it. In that, we have Mercury Uranus this week, technically exacted last night, Sunday night, but we will still feel it on Monday. And Uranus is the archetype in astrology of the genius, but also the weirdo, because commonly that is one and the same. Many people that we really herald as great thinkers of their time were ostracized within their time, because when someone dares to be different, it attracts a lot of people who are like, that's so weird, what are you doing? It takes strength to be able to follow your own ideas and to dare to shake things up, but to dare go in a different direction and defy the status quo, which is very much the energy of Mercury conjunct Uranus. Then after that inspired aspect happening, Sun square Pluto happens, which is like, conform, don't be so weird, don't come out with that idea, don't have your own creative take on pronunciation. And then later this week, we have Mercury in Taurus sextile Neptune in Pisces occurring, which is inspired, channeled new ideas, followed by Mercury square Saturn, which is like, you thought it was a lovely idea, and then you get a comment from I Love Sloths 8286, who says, this is horrible, why did you even let this export from your camera? And you're like, ouch. But regardless, there's this energy where you're slow and you're steady and you're consistent despite it. Despite the hater energy, wherever it is that you could be feeling it, whether it is on the internet or certain friends of yours that you feel like are constantly bringing out the worst in you or constantly tearing you down, or at work if you feel like there are certain people who just never have anything nice to say about the projects that you put on, or whatever, wherever it is that you're feeling this sort of negative energy, there's this energy where it's like, well, I trust in my own idea, I trust in what it is that I'm doing, and I'm going to keep moving forward with it. Even though it's eclipse season, we still get the beauty of Taurus season, which is, it's the bull. So it's one hoof in front of the other, slow, steady, and consistent. And this is a tonal difference from Aries. Aries was sort of like burn ourselves out energy. It was being quick to react and quick to burn out, right? With Taurus, it's about slow and steady, but getting ourselves over the finish line, getting that project out. Even if I love Sloss 8286, whatever it is I say, and a million other people on TikTok or YouTube or wherever have something negative to say about it, maybe taking the gems of, okay, maybe I could pronounce it better. Okay, maybe my lighting could be better. My microphone could be better. Maybe my hair did look weird like that. Maybe A, B, and C, right? There can be a gem of wisdom within the constructive criticism, but not allowing the negativity to infiltrate your vision and infiltrate your creativity. And comment below what's like the weirdest comment that you've gotten on the internet from an internet troll. I will never forget this morning. I work out with my friend every Thursday morning. We go to Pilates, and my alarm went off at 5 a.m. and I was just sort of like trying to get awake. So for some reason I went to TikTok, and it was very early in the morning. And the first comment I read was it's like, I'm not going to listen to anyone who looks exactly like Lamar Odom. And then like a couple people commented on it, like, ha ha ha. And I was like, does everyone think I look like Lamar Odom? I personally don't see it. But having all these other people telling me that, I was like, what? Like that entire day, reading that the first thing in the morning, that entire day I would go to work and be in consultations, and just randomly I would just be like, do I look like Lamar Odom? Do I look like Lamar Odom? And like everyone's been thinking it and no one said it to me. Who knows? I mean, you really shouldn't let that stuff get in your head, like internet troll stuff. Like that's not a mean comment, it was just a weird comment. You really shouldn't let it get in your head, but it kind of does sometimes. But yeah, let me know if there's ever something weird that someone's commented on one of your pieces of content on the internet. So I'm gonna put down my coffee so you don't have to hear my straw rattle any longer, but cheers, loves, happy Magic Monday. So on Monday, we have Mercury conjoining Uranus, technically exacted Sunday night. All times that I list will be West Coast. So for West Coast time, it exacted Sunday night. For East Coast time, it exacted early Monday morning. Regardless, it's still sort of painting a tone over the morning in that our technology could be a little strange. We could get some unusual news. We could also have a random idea. We could feel very restless, very anxious. These are all Uranian themes. And Venus will also sextile Uranus in Taurus at around midnight. So again, sort of energy that'll be felt Sunday night, but also maybe Monday morning when you wake up, in that, with Venus in Pisces, she's inspired. And with sextile Uranus and Taurus, there's really this inspiration when it comes to brand new ideas that are weird, that are bizarre. That yes, whenever you do something weird or bizarre, there might be one or two people who say something negative about it, but you really cannot let that impact you and continue to move on. You need to keep your eye on the target and continue to follow inspiration, because it is such a lovely space to be in the space where you are inspired to create something. I feel like it comes from a very pure place, and oftentimes it can sort of hurt our confidence when someone says something negative about it, because it comes from such a place of it feeling very heart-centered, where we could be like, you commented on my YouTube video, but it feels like you're commenting on my soul, because you put a lot of you into it. But I want you to continue to stay focused on it. With the Sun square Pluto exacting the same day, this is sort of the energy that I was talking about around get back in line. Don't shine so bright. And it's sort of the sun at the last degrees of Aries, and the sun is exalted in Aries, so it's relatively powerful. And with the square to Pluto in Capricorn, it's really excavating all of this intense sort of egoic energy where it's like, someone sees your new idea or sees your shine and sort of wants to like put you in your place or dim your shine, or be like, you can be yourself, but not too much. You can be bold, but not too much. You can be creative, but not not too much. With Sun square Pluto, there can be energies on Monday if there are power struggles or people sort of being jealous, or also just sort of things that have been under wraps sort of bubbling to the surface around you, how it is that you've been expressing yourself. I mean, Monday morning, the sun's in Aries, the moon is in Scorpio. These are two Mars ruled signs. So it could be a sort of energy where you, just by being yourself and sharing your light, can attract negativity or jealousy or whatever else. But regardless, don't let it keep you from shining. Don't let it keep you from creating brand new interesting things. Don't let it keep you from being yourself. With the Scorpio squaring Saturn and the moon also passing the south node, it does feel like sort of a blah morning. There could be strong emotions, but it does feel to lighten as you continue on through the day. And keep in mind, Monday's ruled by the moon, so we tend to be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more in tune with our inner world on Monday. The moon trines Neptune and Jupiter, which again is receiving highly inspired, ideas, and perhaps highly inspired ideas from the depths of our sadness or the depths of our anger or resentment. Like with Scorpio, it's the energy of transmutation, being able to take something negative and turn it into something positive. And Jupiter Neptune is sort of like this inspired energy, and Scorpio moon is like this transmutation energy. So it's like reading your phone and reading, someone telling you that this video is horrible and you look bad and whatever else people say on the internet, because there's so much crazy stuff that I've read. And it's almost like this fuel around, well, I'm not gonna let them stop me. I got this idea from the divine, like this idea was given to me, so I'm not going to disrespect myself or the divine by not making it happen, not following inspiration. I can't live my life. For the haters, you can't. The moon is void at 4:55 with the sextile to Pluto. So even though there's sort of a blah morning, it does feel like towards the later part of the day, we're gonna feel back in our power. And the moon is void from 4:55 until 7:16 when the moon enters Sagittarius, which is very free-spirited, expansive, optimistic. And what's important to know about that night and then also Tuesday morning is that the sun's at the anaretic degree. And this is the last degree essentially until it enters Taurus, because the sun enters Taurus Tuesday evening. And with it, it gives a sense of urgency, and especially with the Sagittarius moon squaring off with who the sun is answering to, Mars, there is this energy around urgency or like now or never. So I would just watch Twitter fingers around if someone does say something negative to you or someone texts something negative, around having like a knee-jerk, response around, I'm going to show them. Because truly, I mean, I so value when people have constructive criticism, and I don't want you to feel like that's what this video is about, is when someone's like, hey girl, your mic is off, or like, hey girl, I think your video would be better if you talked slower or whatever else. Like, that is valuable, and that's what helps me be better as an astrologer. There's just such a tonal difference between that and someone saying like, you're so ugly, why are you on the internet? There's a difference, okay? And that's more so the energy I'm talking about. And with those individuals, the internet trolls, like they really do want a reaction. Like, that's why they do it. That's why they do it. That's why they say that stuff. And oftentimes, even though you feel like you're lashing back and like, they'll never recover from this, it's like, that's what they want. You're giving them what they want. So whether it's saying something to, someone texting or replying to a comment, just be mindful around not being too knee-jerk with things. Just check in, because there can be a feeling of urgency with the sun at the final degree of Aries. On Tuesday, the 19th, the moon trines Chiron, which is a sort of healing energy around honoring our truth, honoring our expansive, honoring our big picture of our reality. And then the sun enters Taurus that evening at 7:24 p.m. So happy birthday to all of my Taurus loves. We adore you for your steadiness, your dependability. This Taurus season will not be giving us that energy. Again, check out that eclipse season video. It'll be linked below to find out why. But we adore you for taking on that steady, dependable energy regardless. And Taurus draws our attention to the senses, and the sun is answering to an exalted Venus. So especially that night with the Sag moon squaring that Venus Pisces, and the sun now answering that Venus Pisces, do something lovely to celebrate Taurus season. So whether that's going out to dinner or making yourself a nice meal or a bubble bath or like a little spa night, do something to indulge in the senses. That's really gonna be so key as we get through this eclipse season, is really allowing ourselves to not only slowly and steadily move towards what it is that we are working on or working towards, but allow ourselves to slowly and steadily move through any sort of chaos that emerges. Like keeping that patient pace and not descending into worst case scenario thinking or into panic mode right away is going to be so essential. And so if things do feel turbulent, which again, not every eclipse is pivotal for every chart. Make sure to check out that video to find out who it's most pivotal for. But with it, it's really asking us when things feel chaotic, if there's certain life changes that are really coming up to the forefront, like really allowing yourself to ground down into your senses. Like you can panic when you find out that you can't stay at your apartment anymore and freak out and tear through trying to find a place right away. Or you can take a deep breath, take a bath, and then calmly and slowly start looking. You know, like taking that moment to just check in, ground down, because oftentimes when we're frantic and we're frenzied, we can make silly mistakes or we can, you know, not get the results that we're looking for, versus if we just took on that task when we're in a more calm level state. And Wednesday the 20th does feel like a very productive morning. The moon does go void at 1:20 p.m. PST and it stays void until 8:52. So Wednesday afternoon isn't the time that I would imagine we'd be terribly productive, especially with the void moon in Sagittarius. Might be a little distracted. The closing aspects where it basically be beefing with Neptune and Jupiter. So it's kind of like scattering its attention all over the place. And again, with Sagittarius moon, to thine own self be true. This is the sign around the truth seeker. So with it, you know, people might be a little honest. And again, it's up to you to decipher, okay, is Brenda commenting on my dress because she's a hater and she wants a reaction? Or is this genuine feedback? Like it might be sort of hard to tell this week, but it's important to check in and observe. Like, is this person speaking their truth because they feel like this will help me? Or is this person trying to get a reaction on me? But regardless, if you like the dress, if you like the project, take in their advice if you do feel like it is valuable and helpful, but don't let it deter you altogether. And with the moon entering Capricorn that evening, it draws our awareness towards our reputation, towards our prestige, towards our professional success. Do keep in mind that the moon is in its detriment in Capricorn, which means it's not necessarily as comfy. However, it does make a nice earthy trine with the sun in Taurus, so we might be more in the mood for the finer things of life. So if you do need to purchase something or you've been saving for a long time and you want to treat yourself with a little something that is a nice earthy energy where you're gonna find something that's exquisite, up to Capricorn moon standards, and pleasing to the Taurus sun's eye. Probably gonna be a great time online shopping, either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And then on Thursday the 21st, the Capricorn moon sextiles Mars in Pisces, which is being able to work towards divinely inspired ideas that we have. Follow your energy, notice what you feel inspired to come up with. And then that evening, the Capricorn moon does square Chiron in Aries, so just be mindful around, you know, anything that could hurt. Like again, like I shared with my pronunciation, it was like, it's great feedback. It's great to know that I'm butchering all of these words. But again, because it's something that I've heard so consistently, it just like triggered this ouch. And a lot of people don't realize that. And again, it's not their job to know that. But again, there's certain comments where it's like, people say something about me, I'm like, whatever, I really don't care. But then there's certain comments that like kind of get to you. And maybe there's certain areas of your life where it's like someone brings something up to you and you're just like, ooh, ouch. And you know, it's sensitive and it's personal. And with the Capricorn moon squaring Chiron in Aries, there could sort of be that energy that comes up around a personal sort of wound where it's like, ooh, ouch, that sort of hurts just because it's personal struggle that I've been working on, so on and so forth. And then the 21st, the Capricorn moon also trines Uranus in Taurus. So again, if you're feeling that wound, that ouch, ground down into your senses. Trust me, your senses are the way to get through this Taurus season. Even though with turbulent eclipse season, ground down into your senses. Oh, my fiance broke up with me? Let me go for a walk. Oh, there's a pipe leak? Let me do a yoga class while they're fixing it so I don't freak out because I have assignment due today. Like, it's not to say that eclipses are all gonna be negative changes. That's not it at all. It can be positive new beginnings and dramatic endings of all sorts, but the tool to get through all of them, to ground down and steady even the good, even the bad, is through our senses. So like, oh, I'm dating this new person who I feel giddy and excited about all the time. let me calm down, let me make myself a nice meal, let me take a bath, let me just bring myself back to that leveled state. Like, your senses are your key to just find that even keel, balanced, integrated approach, because eclipses we can find really hard to keep balance. Speaking of balance and earthiness, Friday the 22nd is Earth Day. Gotta love an Earth moon and an Earth sun during Earth Day. And Earth Day feels very inspired. There's all of these yummy, juicy aspects where the Capricorn moon, the Capricorn moon's hard on itself. Like, there is a tendency to be pragmatic, to be hard on ourselves, to perceive how much it is that we deserve nurturing by how successful we are or are not. With the Capricorn moon, it sextiles Venus, it sextiles Jupiter, it sextiles Neptune. So it's like getting all these divinely inspired ideas. And it's things that we're grounding down into physical, because that's the energy of water placements, sextiling earth placements, is around getting these divinely inspired ideas or having these emotions, then turning into something physical. So on Friday, follow your energy, follow what it is that you want to work towards, because the positive manifestation of Capricorn moon is mastery, working and being disciplined in order to attain mastery, not for other people, but to feel good about yourself and what it is that you're creating, what it is that you're birthing. And Friday feels truly lovely for that. Just be mindful of any intense emotions that come out later that night, with the Capricorn moon conjoining Pluto and the moon's void at 8:53 until it enters Aquarius later that night. And with that, Aquarius moon is the last quarter moon. So this is sort of a check-in after the Libra full moon. It's sort of a check-in on the events that have transpired through Taurus season thus far, and truly it's kind of the official passageway into eclipse season, because now the moon is waning and waning and waning until it's a solar eclipse next week, right? So it's sort of this energy where there can be a couple of themes or hints around what your eclipse story is going to be. So make sure to check in on Saturday with what sort of comes to the surface, journal about it, anything of that nature. Again, Aquarius can be sort of this objective look at what it is that's going around. That's why a lot of people will feel like Aquarius moons are emotionless. They're not emotionless. They're just able to sort of detach from things to view it very logically. And in fact, when they're most emotional, they'll come off that way because that's just how it is that they process emotions. So there can be a sensation like that, and that Aquarius moon will also square Uranus and Taurus. So again, there could be something unexpected. That's a key part to your eclipse story. And then on Sunday is sort of like a reverse of what I was talking about earlier, where I said it's a divine idea and then sort of like harsh feedback. This one's like harsh feedback, but a divine idea. So like this is sort of the energy. With Mercury square Saturn, this is the signature ouch. This is the signature ouch comment. This is the one where you look at and you're like, ooh. Like, even regardless of my personal wounds, because that's more of a Chiron, with Saturn, it's like, that's harsh. Like, that is just flat out mean, right? And with Mercury square Saturn, there can be an energy around where they're being really negative with ourselves, only focus on our flaws and what's not going great within our lives, or we're more sensitive to what other people are around us. Like, you know, we had a really overwhelming day and then we walk in the door and our partner is like, oh, the dishwasher is broken. Like, you should probably order another one. And you're like, dang, can I breathe? And like, yeah, it's the dishwasher, it's not you. But there's this energy with Mercury square Saturn where it's like we could be a little bit more defensive of what it is that comes up. We could perceive a lot more sort of negativity from it. And it's just like, ouch. And again, with Saturn, there can be a gem of helpfulness, but we could just be being more pessimistic ourselves, more negative ourselves, more inclined to focus on the negative. So again, like 10 great comments and then focusing on that negative and not being able to stop thinking about how someone said that our hands are spidery. But with Mercury sextile Neptune that day, like, remember what I said about sextile a couple weeks ago, where it's like, it's opportunity, it's not a given. With Mercury sextile Neptune later that day, there's like this energy where you can't stop thinking about how that person said you have spidery hands. You're like, oh, spidery hands, what does that even mean? Maybe I should try to do a video without my hands. Maybe I should finally show my face. Maybe I can show my crafts and talk about them as I go through. And it inspires this brand new type of content that you're gonna create. Not because you want to please these individuals, but because receiving that feedback around your hands sort of inspired you to move in a different direction. So again, we don't wanna create our content or again, create our lives based on hater energy or people, you know, tearing us down or saying negative things. But sometimes there can either be a gem of helpfulness that can help us move forward, where it's like, yeah, Cheryl's delivery on that dress was bad, but truly it's not flattering. Like, again, it's very much tough love energy, but there can be a gem of wisdom within it. And it honestly could inspire you in a brand new way. Like you find this other dress that you want to wear and you're like, oh my gosh, this is stunning. And then you show up to the gala looking 10 times better than Cheryl, or wherever this energy is playing out for you. Like there's gonna be an ouch, but allow that ouch to breed creativity, okay? And not to appease those people, but to be able to evolve and to create yourself. The Aquarius moon will conjoin Saturn. So again, this is sort of a blah energy. This is feeling just sort of apathetic, viewing things really, really logically. And that Aquarius moon also squares Mercury in Taurus. So again, we can be a little bit more mouthy than typically. Like we're seeing things very realistically, which is the gift of Sunday, where it's like, okay, objectively, that dress is not great. Objectively, the craft videos that show my hands don't make my hands look great. And you can't even really see the crafts because my hands are in the way. Like, it's ouch, but there's a gem of truth in it. And it feels on Sunday we're being very realistic and our delivery isn't great with the Aquarius moon squaring Mercury in Taurus. So be gentle with yourselves, be gentle with others. And loves, that is our week. I'm sending you so much love. Don't let the haters get to you. But again, do know that sometimes constructive criticism can come in a kind of ouch format, but there might be gems of helpfulness within it. And it's just important to decipher that this week. And the Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I stay focused on being my personal best. And the reason why this is the Magic Monday mantra of the week is because sometimes when there's negative comments or there's internet trolls or anything of that nature, it can feel very disparaging and we want to hide and we don't want to put ourselves out there and we don't want to create things. And this week it's so important to stay focused. Like I said with Taurus, one hoof in front of the other, taking in the feedback, whether it's good or whether it's bad, in order to be our personal best, to be able to create something that we feel good about. Because when you create something that you feel good about, whether it's, your album or, your family or whatever it is that you are working on and building within your life, when you feel something that you feel good about, the negative comments from other people don't affect you as much. You can still read them, but it doesn't really get to you because you're like, this is my personal best. I feel really good about this. This is what I wanted to create and what it is that I wanted to build. So staying focused on it, not saying that it's necessarily the most, ambitious week, because again, we're in a waning moon week, we're moving into eclipse season, things do feel to be chaotic, but regardless, I just want your own personal potential, what it is that you are working on. I want that to be your guiding light through it, because that's going to help you so much in deciphering, okay, what is good feedback that I should really take in order for me to evolve into the best version of myself. Because honestly, sometimes criticism can be a gift. Like I've said, there's been so many comments on Magic Monday where I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I had no idea. Like I had a really bad habit of not saying PM or AM, and now I'm super cognizant of that. So I'm really thankful for comments like that. And sometimes there really could be a gift within it. Again, delivery is not always great, but using that energy as fuel to continue to focus on being your personal best wherever it is that you are showing up in that way within your life. Loves, I'm wishing you all the most beautiful week. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay magical.